Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you folks for joining us tonight for our original work series. We have a fabulous story and a fabulous author with us tonight, along with a multilingual script that we're very, very excited. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce our author for the night, Mr. Straton Rushing. How are you doing tonight, Straton?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I think what the Fourth Community Arts Center is doing with this project is very unique. We've talked about this a whole bunch already, but I really think it's interesting how art is evolving, all things considered right now, and how we're trying to just sort of figure out ways to keep it going. I know, like most playwrights, I'm pretty disappointed to have had some productions canceled recently or suspended, and for you guys to come together and say, no, we're going to make something happen. We're going to make this happen no matter what, that's really cool. So I'm very excited for that.
Well, we're very, very excited to have you and very blessed that you took the time to submit to the original work series. So with that being said, we're going to put you on the hot seat for a few minutes and ask you some questions.
Okay.
Starting with, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the inspiration or motivation for this particular piece that we're reading tonight?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I was born in San Angelo, Texas. I grew up kind of going between, and most people don't know where this is, but, oh, hey, you know what? Since we're at home, I have the unique advantage of this. I made this during quarantine. So this is a little Texas that I have. This area down here near the Bend, that's the city I grew up in, Sonora, just up here, San Angelo, down here, Ciudad del Rio. And that's sort of the neck of the woods I came from. Spent the first 18, 19 years of my life there. Moved up to Arlington, I guess actually when I was 18, and then I did my undergrad at the University of Texas at Arlington, and went through that theater program there. They produced my first full length, and that was just a great experience. And the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's been very good to me. I've had a lot of work done specifically in Fort Worth with groups like Scene Shop, and I worked at the Fourth Fringe Fest. You saw one of my full lengths there. Well, full length-ish shows right on the border. And I've really fallen in love with the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and that's why it's bittersweet because I was just accepted to the Arizona State University dramatic writing program for my master's at the Harburger Institute. So come August, I'll be moving to Phoenix and studying under Guillermo and Jeff and all those awesome guys out there that run that program. And Liz Lerman teaches out there, and I mean, it's a phenomenal program. I'm extremely blessed to have been one of the very few who somehow they saw something, and it was in this script actually. So this is the one I submitted that got me in the program. Which, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a little crazy the way the script turned out, as much as I love it and as hard as I worked on it. The inspiration for it, man. So I feel like I have almost like this packaged answer that I end up using over and over again, but it's just kind of the best way to explain how it came about. Generally speaking, with my shows, what I do is I sort of have a series of concepts. Like, people always say, they're like, Stratton, your shows are almost like a random generator. It's like a chiropractor, the Spanish language, catfishing, just a series of things that really don't seem like they go together, but in my brain they go together perfectly, right? And I don't know, I think like the current project I'm working on, there's a thing with online genetics tests, and then Facebook, and then the oil field industry, and then academia. These are all interwoven into the show I'm working on now, right? So it's just I don't mean to have it sort of just brush over all this stuff, but it ends up happening. But anyway, here was the real inspiration for the show, and this is kind of the gist of it, I think. Where I grew up, it's a pretty bilingual area, and growing up I was actually a pretty horrible Spanish speaker, even though it's pretty standard for even Anglos, like we call ourselves, to speak Spanish down there. In fact, my grandfather was born in Del Rio, and he spoke fluent Spanish despite being just like me, looking white, being Scottish American, all that stuff. And it was crazy. I remember sitting in the truck as a kid, and we would just kind of drive through the ranch. He'd be like, all right, what's that? And he would point at something, and I would be like, guajolote. And he'd be like, what's that? Zacate. And I just it's so weird. And even today, I'll forget a word. Honest to God, my Spanish is much better now. I'm basically conversational, and I can write it very well. I'm very proud of how I've come academically with the language. But honest to God, I wouldn't speak nearly as well if my girlfriend wasn't teaching me. She's a native Spanish speaker. And I kind of got to give credit to her, because even today now I'll just be like, hey, how do you say tree? I'll just forget, and she'll be like, arbole, and I'm like, oh God, my grandfather taught me that, and I forgot it. So I've had a lifetime of being horrible at Spanish, but speaking it frequently. So that's what inspired a show where a character is learning the language, and getting the audience an opportunity. Like, I feel like sometimes you get to hear broken English, but in our stages, you never hear a broken version of another one. And you never get iterated how bad English speakers are picking up other things, because a lot of times we're never expected to learn a new language. That's one thing I wanted to touch on. But another thing is that I always had it in my head, when you start learning a new language, you kind of grow as a person. Like, you start communicating with people you never thought. And it's almost like being a toddler again. Like, your tongue won't move certain ways. And puns are funny because you get them for the first time. Like, it's just weird things that you never would have thought of. And I knew I wanted to write a show about someone learning a new language under stressful circumstances. And I knew that when they learned it, it would also artistically be about them growing as a person, because to me, those things do actually go hand in hand. And I just thought to myself, okay, yeah. And then some other concepts, of course, coagulated into what eventually became Enferma. But yeah, that was sort of the germinal idea, was like, I know what it's like to look like an idiot who can't speak a language well. And I knew eventually I would want to write a play about that. But I think that's how it manifested itself, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I think we've talked a couple of times in reading the piece myself, how much the language becomes a character itself in this particular script. So bravo for that writing technique. I think it paid off well for you. So can you talk a little bit about who some of your writing mentors or influences are?
Oh, dang. Yeah, I've had time to sit on this question and think about it. This is tough. So, of course, you have like the people who are like, mentors, and that like they've known you, they've watched you grow, they've been there for you, they've been your ride or die. And then you've also just got people you've always admired who you've never even met in person, right? So just going through it. Obviously, like, artistically, I've got so many people in my life who have always just kind of like supported me and been there for me. I got to give credit to like my grandmother, my dad, my girlfriend, my best friend, Juan Miguel Jimenez. He's a set designer. My girlfriend's also a set designer, by the way, Bianca Fulgar. Check out her stuff. So obviously you've got the people who like support you, and that like in a way they shape you as an artist, whether they're being a mentor or not, if that makes sense. And then like just as far as like traditional teachers are concerned, Gary Garrison at the Kennedy Center, he was awesome working with him. I got to meet him in 2019, and we worked together for really just about a week, but we still stay in touch through email. And then obviously at UT Arlington, playwrights like Serafina Nova and Natalie Gaup, directors like Deidre Payne, who she guided me through my first full length I ever directed. And, people who just, especially whenever you're in a university theater program, even if it's a little bit bigger, UTA was kind of middle size. You end up having certain teachers who take you under their wing and say, all right, you're making the kind of theater I'm good at making, and I'm going to show you how to make that. And those ladies especially, and several of the men in that program too, like Joe Chapa, Andrew Gaup, they definitely shaped me. I mean, there's no denying that. And then as far as like artistic influences who I've just never met, I'm just going to refer to the bookshelf. It's right over here. Man, I read a lot of Tennessee Williams. That ought not go ignored. That was like probably because Streetcar Named Desire and falling in love with it when I was 16 is kind of what made me want to be a playwright. Also, just like I always find something in Brecht that I never would have thought of otherwise. And then, Kira Lidra, I always say her name wrong. Hudis, Water by the Spoonful in the Heights. She's a brilliant writer, and I always say her name wrong. I feel so bad. Puerto Rican names always trip me up. Arthur Kopit, he's a weird one. He's probably one of the only ones that exists more on like the absurd side of things. That really moves me a lot. Lynn Nottage and Susan Lloyd Parker, both definitely in my top 5. They're both brilliant. And then I think maybe the single biggest influence, even though it doesn't seem to show up in my work, apparently people are always like, really? Is Stephen Adly Gurgis. I always find something fun in his shows. We had a whole discussion about him with the cast. Well, right. About specifically Judas Iscariot. But
yes.
Yeah, that was definitely that I think him for sure, and just the way he writes. I like that he writes for an ensemble. I've always thought of theater as being very, very collaborative, and I hate that as playwrights we lock ourselves in a box and go into a corner and become the loneliest person in the room. And he didn't do that at all. I mean, he unapologetically writes for actors, and even though I don't do that at all. I really respect it, and it shows in his work that that's what he does, and he's not afraid to do it. And then I write musicals. So obviously I've got influences on that end that are gonna, influence me, but this is a playwriting thing, so I don't need to get too into the weeds on a different genre.
I think that's a great list indeed. So wonderful, wonderful authors there. Can you tell me, does writing energize or exhaust you?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So I think It depends. Like, I think what most writers will tell you, at least what I definitely experience, I feel like the act of getting started writing, even if it's just one page, you got to really have the energy to get yourself motivated to get going. But I find for me, generally once I start writing, I get all excited and giddy, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I've had in my head for the last 3 weeks, and it's finally coming out. Because I spend a lot of time just stewing and forcing the work and the characters and the plot to just sit in my head, and eventually I then allow it to come out. In fact, right now I'm thinking about an idea that I've held off on actually doing so that I would be all bunched up and excited to do it. So I mean, after we log off the Zoom call, I'll probably start sketching that out. But yeah, I think for me, the actual writing itself is energizing, but there is something exhausting about it. Like at the end of like a 2-4 hour writing session, I mean, yeah, I might be a little exhausted. You know what I mean? It does take something out of you. And I mean, and it depends on what you're writing. There's scenes in this show that it took me whole days to write, even though it was way smaller than stuff that didn't take nearly as long. Granted, about more or less 3 months of the work of the show was really just research. But not to say I wasn't writing and plotting out points, but that I was, you know, spending a lot of the time working on this play, not actually writing words, but doing other things to allow it to exist. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I think there are scenes that are exhausting to write. I have friends who literally say if they're writing, they don't think they're writing a good scene unless they're crying. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not going to name names just because it's not really fair to them, but like a couple of Dallas writers who might be like no names if you're in the DFW scene, they've straight up told me that. And I think there's some truth to that. There's definitely been, especially with this show, there's been times whenever I've sort of been like, oh man, you know. Yeah, that's the best I can answer it. I think it depends. And also every writer's probably different for like how they feel about it, for sure.
Sure. How do you go about your writing process? Do you set a time to write? Do you write whenever the muse strikes you?
You know, it's weird. I'm like a very strange person, I think, which all artists are. But like I make a to-do list every week of like things that need to get done. And like I get really giddy about checking things off because it makes me feel like I'm getting things done. But I also don't really like schedules. Like today, I have like 4 different meetings throughout the day with various like theaters and groups and things, and with the thing at ASU and all this other stuff. And then I have my day job. I have a conference call later. And I don't like stringent schedules. So it's really weird that like I'm someone who really, really likes to feel organized, but I really like to like just kind of let it flow with like how I get the things done throughout the day. So I don't set aside time to write. I found that what I've heard is that is very useful for most people. Treat it like your daily workout, dedicate an hour, just sit down. And even if you're writing random stuff that never sees the light of day, just get in the habit of writing. That never worked for me personally. I know that like, I think Rajiv Joseph, who I love his work, I think he had a whole thing about how as a player, he believes that you have to write something every day, even if it's one word. And that sometimes he will just write one word, but like, that's what he does. And I think that, I mean, that's really cool. I think Susan Lloyd Park had something about that too, about like a play a day or whatever. But yeah, I don't know about all that. Personally, I'll probably have 4 good writing sessions a week. And almost every day I'm doing something, whether it's emailing a theater, doing even an interview like this, or, you know, every day I do something playwriting related. A lot of it is just marketing yourself. But as far as like actually writing, I think I probably have 4 good sessions a week, maybe a few other short ones. I know I spent like 5 minutes yesterday just like plotting out here a bunch of nonsense. This is like a scene map that I have just sitting here. And it's just a bunch of scribbles, I'm sure. But like this took 10 minutes, and I think this was the only writing related thing I did like the day before yesterday. But then the day after, I had a bunch of stuff during the afternoon. So, you know, it depends.
Nice.
Yeah.
And on that same vein, do you have any other plays in the works right now?
Yeah, so I have one big project that's entirely too early to be plugging things for. And I think like a lot of people, I definitely had like multiple projects that got canceled or suspended because of this. There was another reading of Enferma that Main Stage Irving Las Colinas was looking at doing. I say looking at, we had a date set and everything. It got canceled just a few days before. Between Us Productions was doing one of my short plays in New York. It got canceled. I was working with a group of young writers at UTA to get their stuff up for some readings. That got canceled. So it was just one of those things where I was like, very frustrating. So in lieu of things you can actually see, I don't think I have anything in the near future I can plug. I might soon. And if you stay tuned on my stuff, I'm sure you'll find it. But what I'm working on, I finally decided to bite the bullet and set a play in West Texas. And it's definitely been, really, really cool to relive that. And I think it's weird because like this show's in Denver, a place that I've spent very little time in. but I didn't feel worried about writing something about Denver. I'm very worried about writing something that takes place in West Texas because we're very like, this is who we are. We're very, you know, there's a cultural like proudness to it, despite it being a very small population. So that's going to be interesting. It's a musical. I'm working on it with my buddy Kelly Damon up in Illinois. He's a brilliant composer, and I'm excited to see where that's going. We're making a lot of headway too. We've only started it about 2 months ago, and we've really got a good chunk of it written. That's what that thing I pulled up earlier was. Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that show. That'll be probably my first full-length musical to get a production, I think, just looking at the way things are going. Yeah, that's the big thing. And I wish I had a working title or something to throw out, but we don't even have that. So
Working title sounds like a great one.
I hate making titles. You have no idea how long it took me to come up with Enferma, and it's just one word.
In regards to Enferma tonight's script, how long did it take you from concept to where we are actually this evening? How long did you actually work on the piece?
I mean, so yeah, it's hard to say because, like, I guess technically I'm still working on it. Like, even from the rehearsals, I found a bunch of individual lines that I was like, oh, that could have been better. Oh, that's almost like a borderline plot hole, and I went back and fixed things. There's no gaping plot holes. Don't go looking for them. But there were little things where I was like, oh, crap, that could have been set up better. So there's even now I'm still working on it in some capacity, right? But I think probably a good 8 months. That would probably be at least 8 months. And the reason why I would say that is because I really spent a lot of time with this project saying, all right, I'm going to get feedback from every person I possibly can. I'm going to send it to my girlfriend to see about my Spanish is. I'm going to send it to my dad to see what he thinks. I'm going to send it to all the writers that I know that I really, respect their opinion and think they can really do something to help me out. I mean, not all, but everybody who I knew would have the time also. That was part of it. I mean, I think I probably had 20 different people looking at this script at different stages to give me their thoughts on it. And I got some great feedback that allowed me to shape it. And the biggest thing too, I really spent a lot of time like in early drafting. I think the first 2 months I didn't even actually write scenes. I was just coming up with concepts and making sure that like for instance, I guess I can tell if you'd like, but like most of the names in the script have like little subtle things about them that like push towards things. Like, I guess this isn't a spoiler, but like Violet's name literally comes from Viola from 12th Night. Like, and that joke becomes obvious to people whenever they start thinking.
That's a great little Easter egg there.
Yeah, it because then you realize like, oh, she pretended to be or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, like just a lot of it was planning to make sure that everything about the script felt deliberate and that I wasn't wasting pages, especially because of all the things I wanted to do with it. And then once I actually put pen to paper, the actual writing process took maybe 2 months. But and then a whole lot of research. Like there's some books that are mentioned at one point in the show. Those are all a part of the books I read to prepare for it that I thought would allow me to have the insight. And then a big part of it to me, there's 2 Latin American characters in the script. It's a majority female cast, just slimly by one person, and there's a female lead, which was not super new to me. I'd done it a lot with my shorter plays, and I'd done it with one full length prior that's probably never gonna see the light of day because I wrote it when I was so young. But I definitely now as an adult, I was like, okay, I need to be very mature and cognizant about this. So I sent it to basically every Latin American writer I could think of, and lots of just random people, and I sent it to a lot of female writers especially, and I was just like, hey, what am I doing this right? Like, is there anything I'm missing here? Because I definitely want to make sure that I do these groups of justice if I'm going to have them as the center point of the show. And the biggest thing I was frequently told was to stop kind of wussing around and to just be really blunt about the harder aspects of the show. They were like, if you're going to do this, go for it. Like, that's what I heard from everybody. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's the answer. Yeah, definitely 8 months. And a lot of it for this show was feedback, just because I think this is something I'm going to do with all my poems from now on, to just try and really rake in as much like thoughts on people who are willing to look at it as I can. And a lot of time just sending monologues to my friends and being like, hey, can you read this and tell me what you think? And like maybe record yourself reading it. That too, just remembering that theater's collaborative, like I said.
Well, it certainly paid off. It's a great script. So on a little bit more serious note, how do you see art changing in the midst of this pandemic that we're all going through right now?
Oh, man, yeah, that's hard to say. I think that best case scenario, because there's a thing about theater, and this is one of those old sayings that people will be like, my teacher said this, William Shakespeare said this, whatever, right? People will say this, and it doesn't even make sense. I've heard some names thrown around it connected with this quote that don't even make sense. It's like they were dead. But anyway, the whole thing, that I've always heard is like the future of theater is not so much in how we can be like cinema, but how cinema can never be like theater. And I really try to, every one of my shows, because I write screenplays on occasion. I've only really had one. In fact, its principal photography got canceled because of COVID. But anyway, I've written screenplays a little bit, and I always remind myself, like, okay, is this a poem? Is this a song? Is this a musical? Or is it a straight play? Like, what is it, right? And I think that the narrative itself has to decide that. Like Enferma, for instance, it's about the internet and it's about connection and it's about all this stuff. But like the whole point of it is to sort of take advantage of those thoughts and portray them in a very raw and personal way. That's why you have like the narrations of the internet and explaining it in person and kind of making the internet sound silly whenever you try to say it out loud, right? The show had to be a play. Like, I don't think if you were to adapt it to something else, it would have to be entirely different. You'd have to change a whole lot about what you were trying to say with it. And that's something that's very integral to me. So what I'm saying with all that is, I think that some people are probably going to take this as an opportunity to try and make plays, quote unquote, more like cinema, more like movies. And I think that's probably not going to end up working very well. But I do think that my best case scenario for this, and I really do think this is what will happen after 2-3 years, whenever all regulations are lifted and people are comfortable going outside again and there's a good vaccine and all that stuff. I think that what will probably end up happening is that we, as a collection, learned about the internet and how it can benefit our art form. And I mean, art generally, I mean, from art form to art form, there's going to be a different conversation happening with regards to that, right? Like digital galleries on the internet with art, like that's outside of my world, but that's crazy. Like I never would have thought of that. But I think for theater, I think my best case scenario is that we take the lessons we learned from this and we apply it. And maybe we do live stream, in-person readings a lot more often now so that people can be engaged from their houses. Like if it was going to be free anyway and there's no paywall, you might as well just put it out in the world to see because you were already giving it away, right? And it makes me think that, okay, well, what if for every reading that I do with a theater, I say, hey, what if we also get that cast together and we do some sort of a Zoom reading? Because there is something to this medium that's pretty freaking cool. And I've seen a lot of, and I'm not probably going to write one of these myself just because I'm so busy with other things that I don't want to try and come up with anything. I've seen a lot of theaters asking for plays to be written to be done through Zoom, which I think is crazy. And I think almost every one of my writer friends who I've talked to about those is like, oh yeah, I got 2 already. And it's like, okay, cool. And it's like, I mean, that's awesome. I don't know. I don't want to write anything about this whole situation just because I think there's going to be so much art about COVID that I don't want to take part in it. And I'm just not that moved by this moment personally. I just find it to be like really sad and irritating. And maybe with the gift of hindsight later on, I can talk about it, but I'm not moved by it in a way that makes me want to talk about it more than I already have to. So I probably won't be writing about it. But yeah, I think my best case scenario is we learn from this. We learn the abilities that technology has given us as theater people to maybe get a little bit something extra out of the technology we have, but it doesn't end up in any way, shape, or form replacing or displacing what we do best, which is the in-person performance.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's one thing that'll never change with theater itself is the intimacy that it provides for collective emotional content. I just think it's something that certainly separates it from a lot of other artistic genres. So what are some suggestions to new playwrights or somebody who's just looking to delve into attempting to write a play?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to plagiarize a friend of mine. Well, I guess it's me quoting him if I say his name, huh? Kane Rodriguez, he's a local screenwriter, playwright. I think he still acts sometimes. I think he's like me. He tries to be an actor, but he's just so busy with playwriting stuff. He's also, I think his official title is the technical director of Arts Mission Oak Cliff, where I worked for a time, and hopefully I'll still be able to when this thing's over. Yeah, Kane has this saying, and I don't know if it came from him or if he copied it from someone, but check out all of his stuff. He's awesome. It's everybody sucks. He sucks. She sucks. Why can't you suck? Why can't you suck with everybody else? And it's basically just stop being so friggin' hard on yourself and just create. Just create even if it's bad. That's probably what I would tell any young writer is that, listen, and the thing about playwriting, it's not even like acting where like you might just be a natural and be really good and sure you'll get better, but you're pretty and good looking and Netflix loves you, go for it. I've never seen a writer who didn't spend years of their life dedicated to like learning and, I mean, like there's naturals, sure, but not to the same extent. And I think that the only way you can be a good playwright is by writing bad plays. And I've definitely also heard the thing that also separates it from acting is you can be a bad playwright and no one has to hear about it. Like you can practice writing plays in the privacy of your own home. And then like and until you get something you think is legitimately good, you never even have to show it to anybody. So if you're resilient enough, just keep on throwing stuff at the wall until it sticks. Eventually, you're going to find your voice. We had a whole, oh my goodness. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to my regional rep, Terrence Boykin with the Dramatists Guild. He's awesome. But I, Kathleen Calabro, and a few other people, we had like this whole discussion about what it even friggin' means to find your artistic voice as a writer. Because that's what people are always saying is like, oh, and then I found my voice. Lin-Manuel Miranda talks about this in some of his quotes. And I'm just sitting here thinking like, all right, what does that mean? Like, and I think I know what it means because I actually feel like in some respects, every time I write a new full length, I find a new part of my voice of like, oh, that was me being legit. That scene right there, that was all me. I never would have written that if it wasn't coming from the heart. And that to me, I think shows like when you're writing from your heart. But you're not going to do that at first, by the way. Like, there's no way you get better at communication and better at just showing your, raw, honest self. As I think it's the UPS guy. Sorry. Oh, the fun of Zoom meetings. But yeah, I think that the biggest thing I would say is like eventually you're gonna figure it out. So chill out. You know what I mean? Don't be too hard on yourself. You don't have to be perfect today.
So just out of curiosity, what was a early experience where you learned that language had power?
Yeah, so sort of through an odd confluence of events, I ended up having a bachelor's degree in philosophy. And what I mean by that is that basically what happened was I took a bunch of college grade philosophy credits when I was like in high school. And I sat down with an academic advisor and ended up sort of saying like, hey, I think I want to minor in this. I've already got all these credits. What will this get me with what I happen to have? And she basically said, well, the way that it's set up around here, like it would be easier for you to just take a few extra credits that you're going to have to take electives there anyway. And get a second degree. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, now I just have 2 bachelor's degrees. And I love philosophy. I think that one thing you forget as a playwright is that you can't just spend 24/7 trying to be a playwright or screenwriter or whatever. You have to be a complete human being. And I think your experiences that are real world will bleed through into your work. Like I heard this thing is really good and I wish I knew who had said it. But it was like, you know how you become a better playwright? By studying music, by studying philosophy, by learning to, play the guitar, by learning to read tarot, like just collect experiences too, Like, yeah, you need to be dedicated to your craft, but sometimes that just means being a person so that you can feel real when you're writing. And for me, philosophy has always been like a little piece of that. I don't know if there's a whole lot of philosophical influence on this script specifically. I think that definitely with regards to sort of what's called like cosmic terror with regards to death, but that's sort of a really niche thing. But the biggest influence is definitely like Wittgenstein for this script, because I think it's weird how language is sort of this, because at the end of the day, when we're talking about language, we really do mean any way that we communicate. And what's the old saying, like 90% of language isn't the words, it's body language and it's whatever, right? Yeah, I mean, it's weird that like, I mean, like I said, I've had a lifetime of my Spanish being horrible and trying to explain things to people, and now it's so much better that I have a bigger vocabulary now, and it's just like, it's great. But yeah, I mean, like the way we communicate is bizarre and strange and confusing, and I think there's definitely something to I think I really realized like language had power whenever I realized that like all of our society is a series of sort of like giant monkeys grunting at each other. And then we created these complex concepts because we were smart enough to do so, and that eventually worked its way into a society, right? And I'm very language forward with my scripts. There's almost always a presence of like a language barrier or like accents or words having double meanings. Like I'm very big on all that, and I think that does come from my philosophy background probably. But yeah, I think probably whenever I came to college and I read a bunch of Wittgenstein and I read a bunch of like linguistic stuff and I realized what language really is, like, and how powerful it is, that was probably when I was like, oh my God, language is not necessarily everything, but it's a hell of a lot more than we give it credit for, right? Yeah, for some time in college, I guess.
Nice. And finally, last question, and probably one of the most important ones. Where can we find you on social media or have access to your works?
Yeah, so I try and keep it updated, and I don't know that it is totally right now, but I'll look right after this. StratonThePlaywright.com, STRATON. My father blessed me with a very unique name. And you can find me on Instagram. That's one of the places where I definitely plug pretty much all my stuff. It's STRATON WITHONET, Straton with 1 T. I thought I was clever. And you can find me, I think you can find me on Twitter from there. I think it's the same handle, I'll check. But yeah, those are definitely the places. And then, you know, I try and keep them updated. I try and keep them posted, but those are definitely where you'll find them. I have some thank yous I definitely want to get out just to mention them. I think I did during, but I want to make sure I do them in this interview. For everybody who helped develop this script, Teresa Coleman Walsh and all the people at Tico Theatrical for letting the Dramatists Guild for letting us get in there and do a production of this. I just wanted to give them a big fat thank you, just because I don't think that this show would be where it is right now had it not been for that first reading, because there were so many things I had to change. To my girlfriend for allowing me to be borderline bilingual, because she sort of took the reins where my grandfather left off all those years ago after he passed. And I mean, like, yeah, it took 4 semesters in college, but like you learn language as a human being. Again, I recommend everybody learn a new language, but the best way to learn it really is to have someone in your life who happens to speak it, who wants you to speak it too, because they will, you know, you learn by talking. Like, I learned a lot at work too, but like definitely just loved her, because the show couldn't have existed without her. It would have been a very different play about a very different thing probably. And then just to my family and my dad, my grandparents, who always support me. Just nothing but love to them. I just had to throw all these out. Oh, and then obviously Terrence Brooks Boykin, the Dramatists Guild. And even though our reading got canceled, the cast of the unrealized production reading so far with Main Stage Urban Las Colinas. I don't know. I think I mentioned most of these things at some point during the interview, but like this show wouldn't have existed without all of that. So these are all people who I had to give some love to. Yeah, I mean, unless you got another question for me.
All right. Well, a big thank you to your art and for sharing it with us tonight. And we're just very, very excited to have an opportunity to share it with the world. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Straton Rushing's Enferma. We have some fabulous actors for you tonight, along with a great script. We'd like to thank you for your patience, for hanging in there with us, and we hope you enjoy tonight's show. With that being said, if the actors would be kind enough to introduce themselves and the roles that they'll be playing this evening.
Hello, my name is Araceli Radillo. I will be playing Violet.
Hello, my name is Andrew Manning, and I'll be playing RJ and Francisco.
Hi, I'm Brian Douglas, and I'll be Dr. Andrew Palmer.
My name is Sienna Riehle, and I'll be reading for Isabella Esperanza Palmer.
My name is Marisa Duran, and I'll be playing Katie Anderson.
My name is Joshua Hahlen, and I will be providing stage directions and translations.
Thank you so much, actors. If you would move into places. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'd like to welcome you to Straton Rushing's Enferma.
Enferma by Straton Rushing. Time, 2020. Location, Dr. Palmer's chiropractic office, Violet's apartment, and the internet. Act 1, Scene 1. Dr. Palmer's office. Lights up on a waiting room of a chiropractor's office. Sitting behind the desk in scrubs is Violet, a woman in her 20s. There is nobody else in the waiting room. The phone rings, and she answers.
Palmer Chiropractic.
She hears the response, then in butchered Spanish replies.
Lo señora, no hablo español. Un momento, por favor.
She puts the client on hold.
Doc, I have a Spanish speaker on line 1.
After a moment, enter RJ, a Mexican-American man of equal age. He has a beanie, and it should be apparent he has been receiving chemotherapy by his hair and complexion. Violet does not notice him at first.
Hello?
Oh, yes, sorry. How can I help you?
I'm here for Dr. Palmer. I'm his 2 o'clock. I'm a little early.
Yes, Raphael Gerardo.
Yeah.
Is this your first time here?
It is.
Great, if you could just fill this out for me.
Violet hands RJ a clipboard, and he begins to fill it out.
Is there any chance he might fit me in early? I have a meeting later, and it would make my day less cramped.
Violet checks over her shoulder to see if he's there.
I wouldn't count on it.
Right. I just figured since there was no one else in here,
Right. One would think, but
I still shouldn't count on it.
exactly.
This is my first time at a chiropractor. My doctor recommended it for pain. Do y'all get a lot of folks in here for that?
A lot.
Does it help?
The effects of chiropractic care are far and wide and can help with anything from back pain, auto injuries, headaches, and even general health problems.
General health, like what other doctors do?
It's what I'm supposed to say. According to the sign out front, I'm supposed to be able to speak Spanish too.
I guess you can't.
Muy poquito.
RJ grins.
Is there anything about this place you can brag about?
Oh, well, normally we have suckers in this jar and they're really good, but we're out.
You're doing a really great job at selling this place.
What can I say? I love my job.
RJ continues filling out his form.
How badly does it hurt?
The chemo or the tumor?
Everything?
It's not fun.
I'm waiting on test results. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said anything.
When did the doctor say you would know?
If they call me, I go back in for more tests.
Where?
Lung.
RJ nods.
Brain.
Sorry.
Yeah, you too.
Both my grandparents passed from it. My dad too.
My mom.
That is so fucked up.
That it runs in families?
Yeah.
I will say, being bald, underrated.
Oh, yeah?
Criminally. I'm like a skinny Bruce Willis with no eyebrows.
Are you done with that?
Yeah, here.
RJ hands her the form.
Your mailing address is in Houston.
Oh, my bad.
He scratches it out and fixes it.
In my defense, I just moved.
Seems like a hell of a time to move.
I pretty much had to, for work.
You're still working.
I have to pay for my treatment. Plus, I set my own hours, so kind of ideal for my situation.
What do you do?
Programming, cyber security.
That's really cool.
Thanks. I mean, the day-to-day is lame, but some people seem to think it's cool, I guess.
Well, nothing cool about being the doorwoman in a back-cracking office.
Enter Dr. Andrew Palmer, the chiropractor, a man in his 30s. He hears the comment, but ignores it.
You must be my 2 o'clock, Mr. Jurado? Dr. Palmer, a pleasure.
He and RJ shake hands.
Violet, I had to move Miss Garza's appointment to earlier, and we need those books straightened out before the end of the day.
I'm on it.
So, what's bothering you?
As they begin talking, the pair exit. Violet turns to take a look at RJ as he leaves. He looks back as well, and the pair look away as soon as they both realize. Violet turns to her computer. Downstage, Isabella Palmer, Dr. Palmer's wife, a Honduran woman in her 30s, appears downstage. She narrates what Violet is doing online.
Violet busca en Google por Raphael Jurado. Los resultados incluyen un perfil de LinkedIn, el sitio web de la compañía en que trabaja y algunas fotos atractivas en Facebook.
Isabella exits. While Violet is invested in her Google search, enter Katie, Violet's roommate, a woman of the same age. She has food for Violet.
Cavalry's arrived.
Oh, thank God, I'm starving.
You look burned out.
Well, not all of us finished college and got a fun job.
Fun, really?
Well, comparatively speaking.
In the age of social media, my job is basically constant stress.
You write about whatever you want. What is it this week?
The right way to read a myth.
That's cool as shit.
Well, yeah, but I have to push boundaries and be opinionated on the internet, the place where everything pisses everyone off.
Violet begins to eat and continues typing.
However, I do have the rest of the day off, so if you wanted to hang out during your lunch break, I am free.
No can do. I am working through lunch. I have to fix a bunch of messed up records by 5.
Katie looks at the pamphlets on the desk.
You're probably aware of some of the benefits of chiropractic care, such as back pain or neck pain relief. But did you know that chiropractic care can also help with general health and wellness?
I'm not a doctor, but
Chiropractic care has been known to be a quality substitute to some much more expensive traditional treatments and has been known to help fertility, autoimmune, and muscular diseases. Okay, do people actually buy this?
I guess enough do that we can stay in business.
You need to get a better job. Selling lies to people all day has to wear on your conscience. Plus, your boss is...
They look at each other knowingly. Violet glances to make sure he isn't there.
Yeah, and you're right, but I can't.
You got this gig, you can get another.
Right, I should just quit my shit job so I can lose my shit insurance, and that way the cancer just get me right away. Just streamline that process.
Negativity does nothing but breed more negativity.
Well, getting diagnosed with cancer at 23 tends to put a bit of a bummer.
Nope. You know our policy.
Zero
pity, only support. Mm-hmm.
I know.
You have a spot on one of your lungs that might be cancerous. We don't know anything for sure. Look, we don't know what's going to happen, but you need to be ready. In fact, what I think you need is a something.
A something?
Yes, a hobby, a pet, something to get your mind off of it, just a little. You need a symbol, a flag you can plant in the ground to say, hey world, I'm Violet and I ain't afraid of nothing, I mean, ever since you and Tony broke up.
Oh, thank you for bringing him up without reason.
Well, you can pretend like your diagnosis or a lack of fulfillment at work is the only reason you're upset, but this downward spiral started before that. You and Tony.
You will call him by his actual name and not by the T word.
You know I don't like to curse.
We will call him by his true name or we won't refer to him at all.
I'm just saying, ever since you and lying shit weasel broke up, your luck has been bad, but it's been 4 months. Okay, 4 really crummy months for you. I think you just need a something.
Well, thank you, Madam Guru. Now I need to get working on these records.
I'll see you at home. Hey, try not to sell too much snake oil to innocent peasants.
Violet puts her fingers to her lips to signify, shut up. Katie exits. Isabella appears downstage to narrate what Violet is doing online. The things she has to say in English, she says with a very thick accent, as she has just begun to learn the language.
Violet abre Patient Records 2018. Después de un momento, cierra el archivo y busca en Google, can chiropractic treatment really help autoimmune diseases? Los resultados dicen absolutamente no.
RJ re-enters. Isabella exits again.
How did it go?
Good, really good. He said I should come back for another adjustment, but I feel solid.
Great.
Well, I guess I pay here?
Oh, yes. I guess I got your insurance info on the sheet.
I'm paying for this one out of pocket.
Oh, okay. You sure? Your insurance will probably cover it since you were referred by your doctor.
It's just easier this one time.
All right. It's $150.
RJ swipes his credit card.
With you being new to the city and all, would you like someone to show you around?
Well, show me what?
What are you curious about?
I've never been to Coors Field.
I'm actually a pretty big baseball nerd.
I am not. So I guess you can show me a lot.
When are you free?
Saturday night?
I'll look after work and see if the Rockies are playing then.
I'll need your number.
He hands Violet his phone, and she types it in.
I guess I'll see you then.
See you then.
As RJ is exiting, he whispers to himself.
I guess I'll see you then. Good one, James Dean. Jesus.
Violet looks down at her phone and smiles. Katie enters downstage and narrates what Violet does on her phone.
Violet searches Raphael Jurado on Instagram. She finds his profile and scrolls through it. He looks really good, especially pre-chemo. She closes the page without following him to not seem like a creep.
Violet turns back to the computer.
Violet reopens the patient files and gets back to work.
Katie exits. Violet works for a beat, then re-enter Dr. Palmer. He has his clipboard and flips through it doing paperwork while they talk.
Hey, earlier you said move Mrs. Garza up. How far?
She said an hour.
Got it.
Palmer sets down the clipboard.
You, got any big plans tonight?
Hopefully finish this so I can leave on time.
And after that?
I'm going home.
You're, pretty good with that thing.
Thanks. I do use it every day.
I'm going to record the new ad down at the radio station. Do you need anything while I'm out?
I'm good, thanks.
Violet keeps typing. Palmer is staring at her.
How come you and I never seen each other outside of work?
Oh, you know, I'm busy.
I mean, you've been here for...
6 months now.
You're in college, right?
Not for the last 2 years.
Still, it must be stressful. Working the job, plus your health stuff, your, lung thing.
Well, I guess we don't know what it is yet.
Dr. Palmer crosses over and places his hands on her shoulders. Violet tenses up. She shrinks down in her chair.
Oh, my God. So many knots. You should really let me give you an adjustment sometime. And I'm not certified in massage, but I know a lot of things.
No, I'm really fine.
Hey, you shouldn't neglect your back. Here, let me show you. See how you're sitting?
Palmer places his hand on the small of her back and adjusts her posture for her. She is now sitting more upright, but he keeps his hand there.
Now that's gotta feel a little better, right?
I need to go to the bathroom. Could you move?
Palmer waits a beat, then moves. Violet gets up and crosses.
If you ever need a little extra cash, I could help.
She stops before making it to the door.
A raise would work.
I was thinking more...
He walks towards the door.
I take that as a no?
She turns to him.
What was your first clue?
Hey, Jesus, calm down.
You're married.
Violet, you're young. You don't get it. But marriage can be complicated. Things happen.
Things get a lot more complicated when you try fucking your receptionist.
I'm going to the station. If you change your mind, let me know.
He exits. Lights down. Scene 2. Violet's apartment. Lights up on Violet and Katie's apartment. Violet is sprawled out on the couch watching a nature documentary with a bottle of cheap wine she is drinking directly out of. Next to her is an empty Chinese takeout box. She is still in her work uniform. Enter Katie. Katie stops at the doorway and puts her fingers up in a square as if to take a picture of Violet. Violet, hearing only the door but no movement, turns.
What are you? Shh. What the Shh.
Don't move, eyes on the TV. That's impressive, like clockwork. It seems like every time, without fail, I come home to see you, still in your work uniform, drinking the same convenience store wine.
I'm not really in the mood.
Eyes glazed over, Discovery Channel in the same normal stench of self-defeat.
Please spare me.
What are we watching?
A documentary about apes.
Violet takes a big drink of her wine. Katie almost doesn't say anything, but she can't help herself.
Yeah, okay, so not to play life coach, but I was reading about this thing on NPR's blog called Positive Imagery. When you've had a rough day, try to look at positive things. Pretty pictures, or in a case like now, a happier movie.
This does make me happy.
Documentaries about apes make you happy?
Yeah, it does. It creates a bullshit-free zone. Just me, some lo mein, and some monkeys fighting for mating dominance.
Okay, one of the things they suggested was watching your favorite childhood movie.
Okay.
So maybe Beauty and the Beast?
I would rather not tarnish my favorite childhood movie with how I feel right now.
Oh, come on. It's nice. You can imagine Gaston as your boss, and when he falls to his death, it'll be cathartic.
You wouldn't believe the shit he said today.
What?
Oh, he offered to be like a sugar daddy thing, and he was all handsy.
Should you do something?
I thought about it the whole way home. It's wrong. Like, you can't just prey on your employees, but I have no hard evidence, so I can't file some kind of suit. But unless I can hire a lawyer who will work pro bono, I'd have to pay a truckload of money I don't have, and all of this while I probably have God knows what in my lungs. Plus, at the end of the day, he owns the business. So if I do make a thing out of it, I'll get fired sooner or later.
It's too much.
Exactly.
You could just tell his wife?
I still wind up fired.
Hey, are you all right?
Violet takes a big swig of her wine.
Are you sure you should be drinking, all things considered?
I'm fine.
But, okay, I'm not an oncologist, but
I promise I will wean myself off quickly. I just need
She looks at Katie.
something.
maybe that something can be something that doesn't compromise your health, like meditation or a nice movie.
Why do villains always fall into oblivion in Disney movies?
Okay, you're drunk.
No. Hear me out. In kids' movies, generally, the villain always dies from some random act of chance. It's never the hero that does them in.
Huh. Okay. Oh, Scar in Lion King.
False. Eaten by hyenas.
Hunchback?
Frollo falls into a vat of lead.
Okay. The hunter guy from Tarzan.
I think he gets hung by vines.
Hung in a kids movie?
I think so. Yeah, just snaps the neck and everything.
Wow.
Old West style.
And we were all cool with kids seeing that? Like,
Oh, the 90s were simpler times.
okay, so what's your point?
What are we telling our kids?
With how cartoon villains die?
Yeah. What? If you're good and someone else is bad to you, just don't worry because somehow fate will take care of it?
You are looking way too deep into this.
Come on, you snuff out bullshit for a living. It's grade A bullshit that should be your next op-ed. The effects of pretending karma is real to kids.
Okay, so if you had it your way, Mickey Mouse would murder people?
Real life villains had to be killed by people. We didn't just all sit around hoping Hitler would die from cardiac arrest.
Hitler killed himself?
You know what I mean. Come on, it's a great idea for your column. You can drop it after your myth one.
I've actually been kicking around a couple of other ideas.
What else?
What about catfishing online?
Like pretending to be someone else?
Yeah, like how anybody gets catfished anymore. I mean, I get followed by accounts with a male model or something for the profile picture and 3 followers all the time. I know it's a bot or something.
Yeah, but there's probably you could probably still do it.
Oh, come on, Vi.
No, I mean, you have to use realistic looking pictures and build up fake friends.
Maybe.
I'm just saying you'd have to be careful, but you could.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I do have another idea that I like even better, but I think I need your blessing to do it.
What?
I think I want to write about lies in the field of chiropractics.
Really?
Yeah, like when they say they can help with stuff they can't.
It's a brilliant idea.
Really?
Yes, do it. Oh, do you want me to do research for you?
I thought you'd be hesitant.
No, fuck no. That's a great idea.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an interesting one. I'm glad you're on board. I thought you wouldn't want me to.
No, it sounds great.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Good.
Also, I guess I kind of took your advice.
What?
I think I met someone.
Get out of town. Violet O'Neill met a boy and she didn't chew his head off?
He's a patient of Dr. Palmer's, actually. But there's this one thing. He has cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm not gonna say don't date him because he has cancer.
I mean, he seemed knowledgeable, like he could help me.
Right. I mean, well, that's not like the reason you like him, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, well, good. I mean, even still,
What?
it just seems like an odd choice. I mean, you're going through a lot, and it just seems like more stress.
We're just going to a baseball game, and you know, it might turn into nothing.
Right. Or it could totally
Or
turn.
what?
You just never know.
I wouldn't want someone to not date me because of my health.
Right. That's fair.
So I shouldn't care, right?
Yeah. Look, I'm glad you're getting out there. But I'll tell you the truth. I think I'm just going to go read up a little on the history of chiropractic care and then go to sleep.
All right. I'll see you in the morning then.
Night, bye.
Night.
Katie exits, and Violet takes a long swig out of her wine and pulls out her laptop. She is noticeably no longer sober. She stares at it for a long time, then begins scrolling. Dr. Palmer appears downstage and narrates.
Violet goes to my Facebook page. She sees married to Isabella Esperanza Palmer. Violet logs out of her account and hits create new profile. First she Googles male models, then remembers not to. She scrolls through her history. She finds the page of Raphael R.J. Jurado. She finds his pre-chemo pictures and begins copying them to a file. She begins to fill out the information on the new profile.
Dr. Palmer exits. RJ enters in the same spot. He comes out in very different garbs, dressed nice. He is noticeably healthier. He is the avatar she is creating. She types a name.
Hi, I'm Leo.
Too Italian.
She types again.
Hi, I'm Patrick.
Too Irish.
She types again.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Oh, too Josh.
She types again.
Hi, I'm Frankie.
She types more.
Jones.
She continues typing.
Hi, I'm Frankie Jones. I'm a sales rep for a paper company and a graduate student.
No.
She types.
Hi, I'm Frankie Jones. I'm a big shot lawyer. I'm 25 and I just moved to Denver from LA. I'm single and, as you can see, I look really good in this shirt.
That'll work.
Violet goes back to Isabella's page. She scrolls through her feed.
Isabella enters on the opposite side of the stage from RJ.
First post.
Feliz cuarto cumpleaños a mi bella sobrina.
Next post.
Día divertido en el parque con mi amor. Corazón emoji.
Next post.
Mira este perito.
Shit. This is why they made Google Translate. Okay, Frankie Jones, I guess you have to be...
Hola, me llamo Francisco Juarez. Soy un abogado muy impresionante. Tengo 25 años y me acabo de mudar a Denver desde Los Ángeles. Estoy soltero y como puedes ver, me veo muy bien con esta camiseta. Hola.
Hey, ¿te conozco?
No, pero mi nombre es Francisco Juarez. Soy un abogado muy impresionante. Tengo 25 años y me acabo de mudar a Denver desde Los Ángeles. Estoy soltero.
Okay.
Isabella exits as if to signify her logging off.
Shit.
No espera.
No quiero una foto de tu verga. Déjame sola.
Isabella exits, logging off.
No, esperate, por favor.
Violet thanks, then begins typing.
Estoy enferma. Me acaban de diagnosticar cáncer en mi pulmón. Sé que suena raro, pero me acabo de mudar aquí y realmente no tengo a nadie con quien hablar, como lo hice en Los Ángeles. Vi tu nombre en uno de los grupos de fans de los Padritos y vi tu sonrisa. Me acuerdas a la primera chica de la que me enamoré. No estoy tratando de ser raro, solo necesito a alguien. No solamente quiero para que hable, sino para ti también. No quiero decirte todos mis problemas, si eso es algo que te gustaría.
Isabella re-enters during this. After a moment, she replies.
¿Has recibido tratamiento?
Se supone que debo comenzar pronto, pero tengo miedo.
Mi madre murió de cáncer. En Honduras, mi esposo es un quiropráctico. Tiene unos pocos pacientes que tienen cáncer. Él les ayuda con su dolor. El tratamiento aquí es mucho mejor que tuvimos allá. Tenés suerte. Lo siento, no debería haber dicho que tenés suerte, pero lo que quiero decir es que deberías aprovechar el tratamiento que tenés aquí.
¿Estás casada?
Por ahora. Tenés una forma muy interesante de hablar.
A beat. Violet is nervous.
Creo que sé por qué.
¿Qué piensas que es?
Eres argentino.
Violet types.
Violet quickly searches Argentina. She sees it is a country in the southernmost tip of South America, bordered by Brazil, Uruguay, Bolivia, and Paraguay. Population of the country was 43,847,430 in the 2016 census. While originally a Spanish colony, over 65% of Argentinians claim majority Italian ancestry. Because of this, Argentinians speak a very specific dialect of Spanish.
Fuck.
From now on, when speaking to Isabella in Spanish, RJ's accent is closer to Castellano, Argentinian Spanish, but it is still off.
Sí, ¿cómo supiste?
Soy buena con los acentos. Conozco a un argentino cuando lo veo.
Sí, nací en Buenos Aires, pero nos mudamos a California cuando era un niño.
Nací en Tegucigalpa. Mi esposo es de los Estados Unidos.
Entonces, ¿cómo lo conociste?
Es una historia muy larga. Estoy cansada. Voy a dormir.
¿Hablaremos de nuevo?
Isabella.
Mándame un mensaje mañana.
Buenas noches, Isabella.
Buenas noches, señor Juárez.
Violet goes to Amazon.com, and the next hour she buys Spanish for Dummies, Viva la Revolución by Eric Hobsbawm, and A History of Argentina in the 20th Century by Luis Alberto Romero. Overnight delivery.
Lights down. End of scene. Scene 3. Radio. Dr. Palmer enters and goes to center stage. He does his radio ad as if it were a monologue.
If you have teeth, you most likely have a dentist. And if you have a spine, you ought to have a chiropractor. At Palmer Chiropractic, we don't just help with the sorts of things you might expect. Chiropractic care can often be a quality substitute to some much more expensive traditional treatments, and have been known to help fertility issues, autoimmune, and muscular diseases. Call Palmer Chiropractic for a free evaluation. Hablamos Español.
End of scene. Scene 4. Violet's apartment. Lights up on Violet's apartment. Enter RJ and Violet with an umbrella. The pair are laughing and smiling.
I still had fun.
3 innings of no hits before a rain delay is fun.
I mean, not just the game.
Do you want something to drink?
I try to eat pretty clean. My doctor wants me to.
I guess I should probably lay off the booze until I know for sure. Who's your doctor?
Well, obviously I had to get a new one in Denver, but Dr. Yang, she's down near Aurora, actually.
That's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, it's not the best location, but she's really good.
Does she just do brain work or like general oncology?
She's good for anything.
I don't know how you like juggle a job with your treatment. It's impressive.
Don't have much of a choice. Plus, half the time I'm in a waiting room anyways. Might as well code while I'm sitting.
Sorry, I shouldn't be talking about all that.
No. I'm an open book.
Well, Mr. Open Book, did you always live in Houston before coming to Denver?
Well, I have family all over Texas. I lived in El Paso in high school, born in a town called Beaumont.
Military kid or what?
No, my mom just never settled down. Not until she was diagnosed. Then we ended up in Houston with my grandparents. And then we just stayed there. I went to college there.
I went to Boulder.
Really?
I ended up dropping out. It wasn't for me.
It's not for everyone, you know. I don't know. I just kind of took to computer science.
My major was psychology until I realized, fuck psychology.
Okay, so what can you tell about me?
What can I tell about you?
You know, you study people, brains, whatever. What's going on in my head?
Well, I don't know much about you yet. If you really want to know if you have a serious mental problem, I guess you'll have to spend more time with me.
Did you want to be a psychologist?
Probably.
Probably.
I just really wanted to learn. I still do, but I never had a thing like yours with computers, you know?
I get it.
Sorry, I'm just talking about myself.
No, I don't mind. I like it.
Do you like me?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I'm pretty sure you.
Violet grins.
Well, you just said maybe, so how can I take the plunge?
If I say yes, will you?
Maybe.
They lean in to kiss when Violet's phone begins to ring.
Do you need to get?
They can call back.
The pair kiss. They sit there for a moment.
So,
I'm glad you asked me to come over.
I cannot believe you made a baseball game getting rained out a good thing.
I mean, you know, I'm pretty great.
Oh, yeah?
I can say the alphabet backwards.
I know every good Chinese food place in the area.
Really?
I like Chinese food way too much.
What else do you know a lot about?
I like to read a lot, so a lot of random things. I know a lot about apes.
Apes?
Yep.
Huh, that's a good one.
And I guess I'm learning Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
For work?
Kinda. Yeah, just a side project for me.
That's really cool. More people should do that.
You speak any?
Oh, no. My grandparents were the last ones. My mom didn't even speak it.
Did you ever pick anything up?
Oh, Tengo ojos muy bonitos.
You do.
Wait, what?
You just said you have really pretty eyes. You do.
RJ grins.
You meant to say mine were pretty, didn't you?
What? No, I totally meant what I said. Do you need to check your phone?
Oh, yeah, I guess I kept them waiting.
Violet checks her phone.
What's wrong?
I've been waiting for my doctor to call me for a second screening if I needed it.
Will you leave a voicemail?
Yeah. I'm scared to open it.
I can,
Seriously?
if it's easier.
No. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Violet raises the phone to her ear. Downstage, Katie enters. She narrates.
Violet opens the voicemail. Hello, Mrs. O'Neill. This is Becky calling from Dr. Roberts' office. We just got back your MRI results earlier today. We need to run a few more tests, but we did find a malignant tumor in your left lung. We'll need to schedule a follow-up to refer you to an oncologist and see what the best course of treatment is for you. You can call us back here at the office.
Violet lowers the phone, and Katie's voice fades out. Katie exits. Violet sits there. Without speaking, RJ can tell what the message must have said.
What did you do when you found out?
I took a walk.
How long ago were you diagnosed?
About 2 months ago.
She tries to stop herself from crying and takes deep breaths.
Hey, look at me.
They look at each other.
You're not alone. There are your friends and your family and doctors, and you're young and healthy.
Apparently not.
Look, you're the type of person who makes it. Okay,
You never know who's going to make it. You of all people know that.
She turns away from him.
I'm sorry. You can leave.
Do you want me to?
Yes. No, I don't know.
What do you like?
What?
Other than watching baseball, what's something you like to do?
Drinking way too much wine and watching documentaries.
Let's watch something.
I don't want to.
I know, but you need to.
Violet nods.
Okay.
They sit on the couch. RJ grabs the remote and hands it to her. Violet turns on the TV and they sit for a long moment.
Why are you being so nice to me?
Do I need a reason?
RJ points at the TV.
Monkeys!
Lucky timing. You know, chimpanzees have the same blood type as humans.
What's your favorite monkey?
Not all monkeys are apes, but all apes are monkeys.
Oh, like tomatoes being fruit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. No?
Oh, okay, I get it.
I really like orangutans.
Let's go to a zoo sometime.
I don't like seeing them in cages, even if some of them are injured or whatever. It just feels wrong.
Then let's go to wherever orangutans are.
Indonesia?
We're going to Indonesia.
Okay.
I'm serious. When we make it.
When?
Yeah. When?
She looks at him. She realizes he's serious.
All right, but you're paying because I can't afford that.
We'll go see some orangutans together.
What if only one of us makes it?
We'll still go. At least one of us. Period. Okay?
Promise?
Violet offers her pinky for a pinky promise.
Promise.
RJ completes the pinky promise. She lays down on his shoulder. They watch the TV. Lights down. End of scene. Scene 5. Katie's op-ed. Lights up on Katie's center stage. She is performing her last opinion column.
Opinion article, What Fables Tell Us About Us by Katie Anderson. My sophomore year of college, I took a literature class. One of the things we studied were old myths, the fables of Aesop, specifically the tortoise and the hare. Pretty basic stuff, so basic I figured I did not have to read the story to write what it meant. I just typed up my essay and threw it in, thinking this class would be a cinch. I got a D, because I didn't actually get it. The professor explained to me, and the others in the class that didn't study properly, that modern audiences often misinterpret old fables. You see, the moral of the tortoise and the hare is not to say, be the guy who is like the tortoise, not the guy who is like the hare. There's two types of people, and one kind always loses. But what it means is that there's a tortoise and a hare inside all of us. We get to choose which side of ourselves we use at the right time. With this in mind, I was curious, so I read some other of Aesop's lesser-known myths, The Mouse and the Frog. I know it sounds like the direct-to-DVD sequel of The Tortoise and the Hare, but hear me out. Okay, a mouse wrongs a frog badly. I guess he stole his bugs he wanted to eat or something. I don't know. And a long feud ensues. After a while, the frog asks the mouse if he wants to make peace, and the mouse answers yes. As the pair are walking and discussing making amends there on a path that leads to a river, they have to swim across it to get to the other side. The frog seizes the opportunity to grab the mouse and try to drown him. While he's doing this, all of the splashing caught the attention of a nearby eagle, who swooped in and grabbed the frog, eating him but letting the mouse go free. To this day, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell this one means exactly. The frog and the mouse are both jerks here. However, the mouse is the one that eventually swims to safety. Is it because he owned up for the wrong he did and the frog never did? One has to wonder, was the frog killed because he tried to take revenge, or because he got caught? If the frog, like the mouse, had been given the opportunity to make amends, wouldn't he be in the right? What I really like about the mouse and the frog is that we can all take away something different from it. You might think it means don't take your revenge in public, don't take your revenge at all, or just apologize. Either way, show me your answer, and I bet I'll be able to show you something about you.
End of scene. Scene 6, Dr. Palmer's office. Lights up on the office. We see Dr. Palmer and Isabella. They both look exhausted.
¿Y cómo vamos a pagar?
Ni siquiera es tu problema. Seré el único que viviendo ahí pronto.
Todavía tenemos 6 meses y no actúas como si no me importara.
No te importa.
Enter Violet. She sees Isabella and stops.
Violet, you know my wife, Isabella?
Good afternoon, Mrs. Palmer. How are you?
Hello? Sorry, no English.
Violet smiles and nods.
We had a big water leak at the house, and the plumbers will be there all day, so she is here for a little bit of the day.
Isabella nods and smiles. Violet sits down. Dr. Palmer asks quietly,
I trust you're not going to say anything to her that might compromise your job?
No, it's not worth it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dr. Palmer nods and turns to Isabella, who has been preoccupied with her phone.
Voy a la oficina.
Dr. Palmer exits. Isabella nods. Violet eyes her nervously. The pair make awkward eye contact. Isabella waves. Violet nods. After a beat, Violet takes a breath and tries to do some work.
¿Han tenido mucha gente?
Lo siento. Gente?
The people? Has the shop been busy?
Gente es people. Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you. No mucho gente.
Another awkward silence ensues. Isabella gets up and walks over to the door to the bathroom, crossing by Violet.
Sorry.
It's okay. Va al baño?
Sí.
Es ahí y derecho?
Mm-hmm.
Isabella smiles and nods. She knew that. She exits. Violet breathes a deep sigh of relief for a split second. After a moment, her phone goes off. It is Isabella messaging RJ. Isabella enters downstage to narrate her messages.
Hey, ¿qué haces?
Violet sees who it is and looks back at the door to Isabella. Enter RJ as Francisco downstage. He once again is dressed nicer and looks healthier. Violet flips through her book and types on her phone.
Lo siento. Estoy ocupado. Hablaremos luego.
¿No puedes responder cuando tengas la oportunidad? Estoy aburrido y no puedo trabajar en mi libro hoy porque mi casa está inundada.
What the hell does inundada mean? And
¿Estás escribiendo un libro?
Sí.
Violet, can I get a copy of the Garcia account again? The printer must have jammed and I only got half of the sheet.
Violet types quickly on her phone. As she hits send, Dr. Palmer enters, scaring her. She drops her phone.
Estoy con un cliente muy importante, pero podemos hablar luego. Lo siento mucho.
Dr. Palmer sees her drop her phone and reaches for it. Violet reaches down quicker and grabs it. He looks at her, she closes the app, and RJ exits. Isabella exits as well.
my bad.
What have you been working on?
I was just
They both look at the computer.
typing on a blank screen.
Garcia account, please.
He sees the book on the table and picks it up. Violet goes to the computer.
You learning Spanish?
Yeah, thought it would make things easier.
That's good. But you need to do it on your own time, not at the office.
Right.
Where did Isabella go?
Bathroom?
Whenever she's out, I need to tell her something. Actually,
He looks at the book.
you can tell her if you want, assuming that's all you tell her.
You're a little paranoid, aren't you?
Tell her I need her to pick up my dry cleaning. I got the call that it was ready. She has the car keys. I'll be in my office.
Dr. Palmer exits, and Violet takes a deep breath. She turns and looks at the book, flips through it, and looks up a few words. After a moment, RJ enters with a bag of takeout Chinese food.
Knock, knock.
Shit! I mean, no. Hi.
Hey. I was just a few blocks away and I remembered someone likes Chinese food.
You can't be here right now?
I'm sorry.
My boss is what? My boss has been getting on to me for having friends stop by and distracting me.
Okay.
So I need you to go.
Well, I'm also his client. I can pretend I'm stopping by for a walk-in.
No room. We're solid booked today.
RJ looks around at the empty room.
Look, if it's weird for me to stop by your work and it freaked you out, you could just tell me.
No, that's not it.
Really?
Yes, this is like super sweet. Just not right now.
All right. Sorry.
RJ hands her the food and turns to walk away.
Wait,
He turns around, and she kisses him.
thank you.
RJ nods. Isabella re-enters.
Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
She shoves him out the door. Violet turns to Isabella, who is looking at her curiously.
¿Quién era él?
Mi novio? Oh, no novio, para una palabra para un novio, pero él es mi amigo.
Isabella shrugs.
Su marido se necesita ir a la lavandería.
No necesito ir.
No, lo siento.
It's okay.
Sí, usted va a...
La cleaners.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mi español es malo.
It's okay. I understand. I'm still learning English.
Isabella nods and then exits. Violet takes her phone out and then walks downstage to indicate she is texting RJ. RJ enters downstage on the other side.
Hey, I know that was super weird. Works just a lot right now. Sorry. Do you want to hang out tomorrow?
It's okay. I have my 4-month checkup with the new oncologist tomorrow.
4 months?
Yeah?
You told me you got diagnosed 2 months ago.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Ever since the chemo started, I have moments where I mess up dates.
Right.
Smiling emoji.
Sorry. When are you free again?
Wednesday night?
I'll see you then.
Violet crosses back into the scene and sits down at the desk. Finally working. She takes a breath. After a moment, Katie enters, wearing sunglasses and a cap.
Hello, welcome to Palmer Cart. Kay, what are you doing here?
Shh, I'm undercover.
You're undercover.
I'm doing research. Check it out.
Katie pulls out a recording device from her pocket and shows Violet.
A little 1920s, isn't it?
It records better than my phone.
You have an employee of a chiropractor's office as a roommate. You can literally ask me anything.
It gets the reader's attention better if I say I went myself. But the trick is to get Palmer not to recognize me.
He'll recognize you.
Not if I wear these.
You're gonna wear sunglasses inside?
Oh, when have I ever cared about fashion?
What? No, it's not a fashion thing. It's just weird. Besides, he'll see your name on the records, and even though he barely knows my friends, he might remember you.
Okay, put down a fake name.
That's medical fraud.
This whole office is medical fraud.
Edie.
Yes.
I got really drunk last night, and I think I fucked up.
How so?
It's a lot to explain, but I fucked up so badly, I think I have to learn a new language to fix it.
What happened?
I can't tell you here.
Why?
Because it involves people here.
Violet begins filling out Katie's form for her.
Okay, fine, we're doing this.
Wait, shouldn't I be filling that out?
It's faster if I do it. So are you just getting an adjustment today?
A what?
Like he realigns things wrong with your back.
I don't know.
We'll have to put down a reason for the visit.
My neck.
Hurts, cool. That's all I need.
Wait, that's all we need?
It's a chiropractor checkup, not open heart surgery.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
When do you go to the doctor?
Violet is typing.
Violet.
I heard you. I just... I haven't called back.
Vi, it's been 3 days. You need to go in so they can check you out.
Look, I've just had a lot going on and I haven't gotten to it.
This isn't your check engine light or an eye exam. It's a tumor. You need to go and get it checked out now.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that. Thanks for your advice.
What the hell is stopping you?
I don't know. I'm afraid.
You know the policy, Vi.
No pity. Only
support. As soon as you're off work, we need to call and get you in there.
Okay.
We're gonna be okay.
I don't want to cry at work. Let's just finish the paperwork. Insurance?
Nope.
Out of pocket, it costs like $90 minimum.
What, to have my back cracked?
You wanted to do this.
Okay.
Dr. Palmer enters.
Garcia,
Before he can finish, she hands him the typed up paper. Katie puts her sunglasses back on.
You have a walk-in.
oh, this is your roommate, right? Dr. Palmer. And your name?
Katie.
Do you have an eye condition? If your eyes are sensitive, we can dim the lights.
No, I'm,
She takes off the glasses and Violet looks at her as if to say, told you so. Violet hands Palmer the paperwork.
Okay, good deal. Right this way, please.
The pair step into the office, where there is little other than a table for patients to lie down on. Violet continues working at her desk.
What seems to be bothering you today?
Well, my neck has been a little off for the past few days.
How badly?
Well, enough for me to think I need treatment, I guess.
Fair enough. So, is it
Palmer gently puts his finger on her neck to indicate where.
Lower?
Around here?
A little lower.
Almost at the shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could sit down, I have just a few questions for you.
She sits. Palmer writes on his clipboard.
Have you ever been to a chiropractor before?
Nope.
Gotcha. So after I take a look, if it seems like something's more serious, I'll schedule you for another exam. But odds are we can get you fixed up today.
All right. Sounds good. So how long have you been a chiropractor?
Oh, I've been practicing for 5 years now.
Oh, great. Okay, so where did you go to school?
I'm sorry?
I'm just curious how someone becomes a chiropractor.
Are you interested in starting?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Very interested. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I did my undergrad at CSU, but I got my chiropractic education at the University of Western States.
You got any kids?
No. None.
But I see a wedding ring.
I'm married. Are you ready to get started?
Of course. Yeah, I guess I'm nervous as all.
Don't be. It's just a standard checkup.
How long have you two been together?
Katie climbs onto the table. Her recorder falls out of her pocket. She reaches for it.
Well, we've been together for 7 years, but married for around 4. It was a long distance thing for a while. Very long distance.
He picks up the tape recorder.
What's this?
They look at each other.
Oh, you think you're real clever, don't you? Violet!
What?
Come in here, please.
Violet enters.
Do you mind explaining?
Damn it, Katie.
I'm not dumb. You wanted to catch me slipping up to show to Isabella, right?
All right. Calm down, man. I'm a reporter. I write an opinion column. I'm doing research for my next piece.
Oh, bullshit.
What? Excuse me?
Do you think I look that stupid?
Katie, do you mind if we talk alone for a second?
Are you sure that's safe?
Wait right outside.
Katie goes to the waiting room.
She really is a reporter. She thinks chiropractors are all con men, and she wanted to do research on it.
And you enabled that?
I guess so.
So you understand I'm well within my rights to fire you.
And you understand I'm well within my rights to sue you for wrongful termination.
Really?
You really gonna fire me over a tape recorder? Not because I didn't want to fuck you?
Oh, please.
Yeah, know what? Fine. Fire me. But once you do, give me one reason not to tell your wife everything.
Isabella and I are separating, if you must know. She's just living with me while she gets her naturalization finished. If we divorce now, she couldn't become a citizen. Once she finishes, we're done.
So
we're barely together anymore. She's probably been talking to other guys. We're setting up our lives to move on after this ends.
you wouldn't care if she talked to other guys?
No,
Really?
I guess not.
Then when she comes back, I can tell her.
I tried to keep it quiet because I didn't want us to have another reason to fight. That's all we do anymore is fight. She probably doesn't want to hear about me dating other people, but she knows. So you see, you get it? I didn't do anything wrong.
What?
I offered to help you out. You can't lie to me and say that wouldn't be nice for a girl your age. I was just trying to...
You're my boss.
And?
It's generally understood amongst sane, non-perverted people that bosses shouldn't fuck their employees.
I didn't force myself on you. I'm an adult who asked another grown adult if they were interested. You could have just said no.
I did just say no. Then you were pissy about it, and that's why we're here.
You sent your friend to get dirt on me, on my business.
I didn't send her to do anything. You don't know that. You saw a tape recorder and freaked out thinking
Violet starts coughing, and after a second, she stops and clutches her chest. He has coughed up blood. She faints and falls to the floor. Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. Violet's apartment. Dr. Palmer's office. 2 weeks later. Lights slowly come up on Violet, laying on the couch. RJ is with her.
All right. How do you say face?
La cara.
Okay.
He is looking around for something to ask about. He points to her feet.
Socks.
Calcetines.
Week?
Semana.
Year?
Ano. Oh, sorry. Año.
Isn't that what you said?
There's a difference between N and Enye.
So what was the first thing you said?
Nothing. It's not a word.
You've gotten really good.
I've had a lot of time to practice being stuck here. It's kept me sane.
You're not used to not working, huh?
I might need to find a new job.
I guess spitting blood in front of your boss leaves a bad impression.
Yeah, that too. But, RJ, I gotta tell you something.
What?
It's just... Thank you.
For
For being here.
when's your next doctor's appointment?
Tomorrow they tell me if I can do chemo.
Why would they not?
It might not help. It's just like that for lung cancer. They said they might just need to do surgery right away.
And if they do?
Well, either they can get it out or they can't. And if they can't, well...
He puts his hand on her shoulder.
I'm sorry. It's just... It feels like you're always comforting me. And I feel selfish.
You don't need to...
I mean, you have your own...
No, don't think like that.
It almost seems like you worry more about me than yourself.
People deal with this sort of thing differently. It's hard to explain. But helping you helps me. Dr. Yang is good. She'll take care of you and whatever you need. I'm here.
You don't need to bend over backwards for me.
Look, neither one of us have big families or a whole lot of support. But we're gonna get to Indonesia. Somehow.
You have a round of chemo today, right?
Yeah.
I might be able to go with you.
You need to rest. You've been coughing less and less all week. No need to set yourself back when you're finally doing better.
Come on, I can...
It's fine. I'd rather be alone anyways.
What's up with that bag? I've never seen it before.
There's been kind of an issue moving my records from Houston.
Really?
Yeah, I'm having to take them myself.
Indicating his bag.
That's really bizarre. They can't just mail them?
One would think, but here we are.
Katie enters carrying the groceries. She sets them down and does the picture thing with her fingers.
Hey, Kate.
Shh, don't move.
What's happening?
She does this sometimes. Play along.
Yep. My suspicions are confirmed. You guys look adorable together.
I look like a girl who's been coughing up blood for a week.
And I look like a drug addict with early onset balding.
And thinning eyebrows.
Oh, people always forget the eyebrows.
Okay, well, I think you two make a great couple.
Aw, thanks, Mom.
Well, I do most of the dishes, laundry, and cleaning.
I didn't say I minded. It's nice while I'm bedridden.
RJ checks his phone. Dr. Palmer enters downstage to narrate what he does.
RJ opens his phone to check the time in his email. He sees an email confirming an appointment with me later in the day. He also opens his browser to see what traffic is like on the way there. He has several open tabs. Google searches on common placement for brain tumors, searches for best oncologist in the area other than Dr. Yang, and flights to Indonesia.
Dr. Palmer exits.
Yeah, I need to get going.
Violet and RJ kiss.
Tell me how it goes.
No.
RJ grabs his bag to go.
Bye.
Bye.
RJ waves to Katie and exits. Katie crosses next to Violet.
Don't say anything.
I'm happy for you, and I'll leave it at that.
Violet grins.
How's a chiropractor piece coming?
Oh, I hadn't mentioned it yet. I went to 2 clinics on Tuesday. Probably gonna try to go to more.
No tape recorder?
Nope. And honestly, I've been surprised.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. Like, there really are some known benefits of chiropractic care. Okay, well, maybe it's best you read the whole thing once it's done.
Yeah, I guess so.
Enter Isabella downstage. She is messaging Francisco. His accent is now full-blown Argentino Castellano.
Hola.
Violet checks her phone and sees who it is.
You should get some rest.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Katie exits. RJ enters downstage as Francisco.
Hola, ¿cómo andas?
He estado escribiendo todo el día.
¿Casi has terminado? ¿Sí?
Solo queda un capítulo.
Necesitas enviármelo cuando hayas terminado.
Ni siquiera sabes de qué se trata.
Una razón perfecta para leerlo.
Quiero publicarlo, pero puedes verlo antes que los demás.
¿Seré el primero?
Y tal vez único.
¿Qué quieres decir con eso?
No sé si alguna vez se publicará o si es bueno.
Isabella, sos inteligente y reflexiva. Sobre lo que quieres que escribir, estoy seguro de que será bueno.
Quiero conocerte contigo. En persona.
Isabella, necesito ser honesto.
¿Qué?
Yo no me veo así. Comencé la quimioterapia recientemente y odio lo que me han hecho.
Eso no me importa, Francisco.
Pero a mí me importa. Odio estar enfermo. Odio todo esto. Solo quiero esperar, por favor.
Por supuesto. Pero dime una cosa. ¿Quieres más de eso? Porque si sí, ¿sabes qué? Tendremos que esperar hasta que pueda dejar a mi esposo.
Seguro. Entiendo.
¿Lista?
Tengo que irme. Puedo hablar más tarde.
Ok. Hasta luego.
Isabella crosses upstage to the office, and she is sitting at the front desk. Lights dim on Violet, typing in her apartment. Isabella turns off the screen to the computer, but not the whole thing, as Palmer enters. When she turns the screen off, RJ exits.
¿He terminado aquí? ¿Vamos?
Mi bolsa está en la oficina.
Isabella exits. Katie enters downstage to narrate.
Dr. Palmer notices Isabella only turned off the screen of the computer, a mistake she often makes. He turns it back on. He sees the messages. He clicks on the Francisco Juarez profile.
Katie exits. When Palmer clicks on the profile, RJ re-enters as Francisco.
Who the fuck?
Hola. Me llamo Francisco Juarez. Soy un abogado muy impresionante. Tengo 25 años y me acabo de mudar a Denver desde Los Ángeles. Estoy soltero y como podéis ver, me veo muy bien con esta camiseta.
Isabella re-enters. Palmer turns off the computer and RJ exits again. They look at each other. He begins to exit. She looks at the computer and then him. He holds the door open for her and she exits. He flips the open sign off to show they are closed for lunch. Lights out. End of scene. Scene 2. Violet's apartment. Violet is sitting in the same spot. Her laptop is open and away from her. She just stares at it for a moment. She gets up and grabs a wine glass. After a long moment, she decides to put it back. Katie enters.
I thought you were going to rest.
I'd like to.
What?
Katie, I fucked up really badly, and I don't know how to fix it.
Like
RJ.
Have you been talking to another guy?
No, not at all. Just, well, I am another guy.
What?
I made a fake profile. I did it to flirt with Dr. Palmer's wife to get back at him. I thought like I could bust up his marriage quietly and keep my job until I didn't need it anymore.
So where does RJ come into that?
I used his pictures for the profile.
What? Okay, of all the men in the world?
Well, we talked about no male models or whatever. Like I said, I was drunk. You know, he was the best looking Latin guy I knew. Plus, I thought it wouldn't turn into anything.
What, you and RJ, or fake RJ and Palmer's wife?
Her and him, or me, I don't know, both. Maybe. I didn't think this would happen.
Well, I think you know what I'm gonna say.
Tell the truth.
Yep.
I can't.
Why not?
I don't know how he'll take it.
What? Okay, he's a grown man. You've known each other for like 3 weeks. He won't be heartbroken. It'll only be a problem if you keep lying.
Look, he needs someone. Who else can understand what he's going through?
He can handle it. The question is if you can.
What?
I mean, come on, Vi. He's always there for you. He's always comforting you.
And?
He's the one who's been in chemo for months now. I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
I think you probably benefit more from this than he does. I'm not trying to judge, okay? It's not a bad thing.
You have no idea what I'm going through.
You asked for my advice.
You're not sick. I am. I'm the one going through this.
You're right. I don't know what it's like, but I know you can't keep this up.
Then I'll stop. I'll delete the account and just stop replying.
What about her?
What about her?
Does she care for the guy you created?
Maybe it seems like it.
Did you even think about how this affects her?
It's not even just that. I care about her.
What?
Not like in that way, but she just moved to the U.S. a few years back. She's stuck in this miserable marriage until she can finish becoming a citizen.
Well, if you really care about her, you have to tell her too.
No. I'm just gonna drop it. I'll stop replying.
Well, either way, you still have to tell RJ.
Can't make me.
If you don't,
hey,
I'll tell him.
Katie looks at her phone. Palmer comes downstage to narrate the text.
A text from Katie's boss, reminding her about a meeting she will definitely be late for.
Palmer exits.
Dang it. Okay, I gotta go.
where?
A quarterly meeting. I've been home so much it snuck up on me.
She quickly gathers what she needs and heads for the door. Just before she leaves,
I'll tell him.
Good.
But I do it. And I do it on my terms, okay?
Okay.
she exits. Violet sits down. She looks at her open laptop. She sees new messages from Isabella. Isabella enters downstage.
Volví.
Violet picks up the laptop.
Francisco. Puedo ver que estás en línea.
Violet closes the laptop and exits to her room. Lights down on the apartment. Isabella stands alone on stage for a moment, seeing he is logged off. She exits. Scene 4, Dr. Palmer's office, Violet's apartment. Lights up on the office. Palmer is on the computer, sitting in Violet's normal spot. He is typing, clearly upset. Enter RJ, carrying the same bag from earlier.
Welcome to Palmer Chiropractic. You're my 2:30?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little early.
That's all right. My receptionist is sick, so I've been playing catch up.
Well, I do have to be at the oncologist at 5, so...
Palmer finally looks up, seeing RJ's face. They lock eyes. Palmer hands him a clipboard.
Your name?
Raphael Jurado.
Can you fill this out for me?
Of course.
He takes the clipboard.
Have you been here before?
Yeah, and I think... Yeah, I filled one of these out already.
Do you mind doing it again where trying to make sure all of our names are in the system correctly?
Yeah, it's fine.
As RJ is filling it out, Palmer goes back to the computer. Violet comes out downstage to narrate what he is doing.
Dr. Palmer opens the Francisco Juarez page. He scrolls through the information, then opens the profile page.
Violet exits. Dr. Palmer looks at the screen, then back at RJ. He closes the page, then crosses to him. He grabs the clipboard.
Oh, I'm not finished.
That's all right. I think I have all I need.
Okay.
Right this way.
Oh, we could wait until 2:30. It looked like you were busy. If you needed time to...
No problem. This way.
RJ and Palmer walk to the other room. RJ lies down on the table.
So, Mr. Jurado, what is the problem today?
I do have some knots, but last time I was here, you said I could use another adjustment in a few weeks.
So how did you find out about us?
I saw some good reviews online.
Really?
Yeah, originally.
Palmer begins working on RJ's back.
Does this hurt?
He presses down on RJ's back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Just checking. Where are you from, Mr. Jurado?
Texas. All over, but Houston mostly.
Really?
Yeah. Hey, man, that kind of hurts.
Palmer presses down harder. RJ jumps a little.
¿Tu acento no sueña como un argentino?
Sorry, man, I don't speak Spanish.
He presses down on a bad spot again. RJ leaps up from the table.
Ah, what the fuck is your problem, man?
What's my problem?
Oh, okay. Okay, look, I think I know what this is. I probably should have said something before, but yes, I know Violet.
What?
And I know you two haven't gotten along.
What the fuck are you getting at?
I'm not getting at anything.
Is this like a sick game to you?
What?
What? Is it funny to you to show up here? Like, I don't fucking know?
Palmer throws a chair at RJ, who dodges. RJ makes a break for the door. Palmer blocks him, and the pair scrape for a moment. Palmer punches RJ. RJ kicks him in the knee, knocking him over. RJ runs out of the office and through the waiting room to the exit. Palmer chases after him. Palmer stops and sees RJ's bag. He digs through it for a moment and pulls out papers, looking at them, puzzled. He crosses to the computer and begins typing. He goes downstage to indicate he's online and messaging Francisco.
I sent a friend request to Mr. Francisco Juarez.
Lights come up on Violet's apartment as well. She is laying down. Her laptop is open.
Mr. Juarez, I hope you'll forgive me for my outburst. I don't know why you thought it would be a good idea, all things considered, to come to my office. I think it's best that you and I don't get the police involved. You see, with a good lawyer, a misdemeanor assault charge is inconvenient for me. But what I found in your bag, you might or might not be aware, but it's illegal. you'd be looking at 5 to 10 years. I think the best thing for both of us is that we never hear from each other again.
Through the course of the monologue, Violet wakes up and looks at what is sent. Enter Isabella. She is also messaging Francisco.
Francisco, ¿estás ahí?
Palmer turns to Isabella.
Necesitamos hablar.
Palmer exits. Isabella looks over the side of the stage where Francisco would normally be. She exits. Lights come down on the office and up on the apartment. Violet sits alone on her couch for a second. After a long beat, RJ enters. His eye is bruised from before.
Oh, no. Oh, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Why didn't you tell me you were going to go see Palmer?
How did you know?
Why didn't you tell me?
My back was aching again, and last time he seemed to help with it. What aren't you telling me?
She goes to the laptop and indicates for him to follow her. He sits down next to her and looks at the screen.
Me?
Dr. Palmer he was trying to sleep with me, even though he was married. Before I knew you and I would be anything, I made this profile while I was drunk. I used it to try to get Palmer's wife to talk to another guy.
What the fuck made you think that would be a good idea?
I didn't think it was, but once it got going, it kind of got out of control. And then one thing led to another. Look, I didn't know Palmer knew about the profile.
So?
If I knew this would happen, I would have told you sooner. I was going to tell you.
Jesus, you could just file a lawsuit or get a new job?
Not all of us have cybersecurity money.
You could have just told his wife?
And lose my job? Then after a few months, lose my insurance too?
I could have helped you with that. You didn't.
It's not your job to fix me.
You're sick.
Like you're not.
What else don't I know about you?
I could ask you the same thing.
What?
You left your bag in Palmer's office.
So?
What was in it?
Folders with my medical records.
Just that?
Well, the same ones I had here this morning.
Violet grabs her laptop and shows him Palmer's message.
Then what's he talking about?
Violet, he threw a fucking chair at me.
What is it?
You're going to trust his word over mine.
I need to know, okay? I need to know so whatever it is, he can't use it against you. Look, I told you my secret.
He wants to go to the police because he thinks I'm fucking his wife. It wouldn't matter if you just told him who I really am.
It does matter. It matters either way because he's crazy. And if he thinks he could hurt me or you, he'd gladly turn you in. I don't care. Just tell me. Drugs? Money?
No.
Then what?
Records.
Records of what?
RJ gets up to leave. Violet follows him.
RJ, please.
He exits, slamming the door. Violet turns. Her phone rings. She pulls it out to see who it is. She almost answers, but she is afraid. Isabella crosses downstage. Messaging Francisco, Violet crosses to read the messages as they come up on her computer.
Francisco, ¿qué pasó? ¿Estás bien?
Violet almost replies, then doesn't.
Por favor, solo avísame que estás a salvo. Yo sé que probablemente no eres real. No soy tonta. Entiendo que del otro lado de eso probablemente no sea un Francisco Juárez.
Violet almost responds, but doesn't. Isabella exits. Violet sits alone. She pulls out her phone and looks at it, and eventually raises it to her ear. Katie enters downstage and narrates.
Violet finally opens the voicemail left from her oncologist's office. Hello, Mrs. O'Neill. We are calling to follow up on your last checkup. Looking at the most recent MRI, we can, in theory, do the surgery. Dr. Yang has spoken to you about how dangerous it would be, but you would be able to avoid chemotherapy if successful. We could possibly remove your tumor entirely. Call us back so we can talk about what's next.
Violet lowers the phone and Katie exits. Violet goes back to the computer. She begins typing. RJ as Francisco enters downstage.
¿Dónde estás?
Voy a la oficina de mi esposo. ¿Por qué?
Nos vemos allí.
Francisco exits. Violet begins putting up her computer and the lights on the apartment die down.
No, ¿por qué?
The last light on Isabella goes down. End of scene. Scene 5. Dr. Palmer's office, Katie's op-ed. Lights come up on Dr. Palmer sitting at the desk. He is clearly disturbed. It is late, and he gets up and turns the sign to closed. After a long moment, Violet enters. Palmer's back is turned to the door.
No necesitabas venir aquí. Podríamos haber hablado en la casa.
He turns around and sees who it is.
What are you doing here?
I needed to tell you something. I'm going into surgery in a few days. I should probably not keep this job.
You could have just called.
Yeah,
She sees the Spanish for Dummies book somewhere on the desk and goes to grab it.
I had to grab this.
Palmer nods. A long beat. Violet coughs, and it turns into a small fit.
You okay?
Yeah.
A man stopped by earlier. He said he knew you.
Yeah.
Who is he?
Friend?
He left his bag.
What's in it?
Records.
Just that?
Well, I assume he's a doctor or a medical scribe.
No.
Really?
Violet nods.
There's two sets of records here. One indicates a healthy person, and one is altered to indicate a tumor in the left lobe.
So,
It means someone faked at least one of these records. And since I couldn't imagine someone with a brain tumor faking healthy, I imagine the cancerous chart is fake.
why?
Malingering, maybe? Faking a disease to sucker folks into donating money.
RJ wouldn't do that.
You never know what people are capable of. Your friend, his name...
RJ.
You're sure that's his name?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I need you to sign some papers, some formalities about you quitting. I'll be right back.
She nods. He goes to his office. Violet holds up her phone. RJ enters downstage and narrates what she is searching. He wanders about the stage.
Violet Googles reasons why someone would fake cancer. The first series of results she finds discuss cases of malingering, the thing Dr. Palmer talked about. In one case in 2008, a woman from Baltimore stole over $30,000 from friends and family to pay for her supposed treatment. Part of the way she was able to fool doctors was by suddenly moving cities to falsify records. Violet keeps scrolling. She finds an article from the Mayo Clinic. It reads, "Factitious disorder imposed on self, previously called Munchausen syndrome, is a type of mental illness in which a person repeatedly acts as if he or she has a severe physical or mental disorder when in truth, he or she has caused the symptoms. It is most often associated with severe emotional difficulties. It is almost exclusively found in those who suffered the loss of a loved one due to extreme illness or who suffered from extreme illness as a child. While it is very difficult to obtain exact numbers of how many people suffer from the disorder, some statistics estimate almost 1% of all hospitalized people in the US meet the criteria.
RJ exits. Violet sits alone for a moment in the waiting room. Isabella enters. They see each other.
¿Eres él?
Yeah.
Yo pensé que probablemente sería una mujer.
¿Por qué?
Cuando empezamos a hablar, me dijiste, estoy enfermo. No estoy enferma.
Isabella grins. Violet does as well.
Pero tu español es mucho mejor.
Tuve una gran profesora.
Palmer re-enters with the papers in hand. He sees Isabella.
I have the papers.
Mind if I mail them back to you?
That's fine.
He hands them to her.
Podemos hablar solas.
He looks at
Estiraré.
both of them. He almost says something, then decides to go.
Estaré en la oficina.
He exits.
Siempre supiste que era un falso.
Probablemente pedí conocerte en persona para estar segura. Después fue obvio.
¿Por qué seguiste hablando conmigo?
Al principio porque pensé que era divertido que alguien intentara engañarme con una cuenta falsa y mal español. Pero seguí hablando contigo porque sabía que con quien estaba hablando era como yo.
Sorry, my Spanish is better, but not...
No tan bueno. Because I knew you were like me.
¿Cómo?
Necesitabas algo, alguien. Pero una cosa que nunca supe con certeza, ¿estás enferma? ¿Verdad?
Sí.
¿Tus pulmones?
Sí.
Lo siento.
Necesito disculparme.
¿Por qué?
Trata de usarte. Solo hice la cuenta para tratar de coquetear contigo para el pago.
¿Qué usó él?
Estaba siendo creepy, being...
¿Un pervertido?
Sí, exactamente. Yo estaba preocupada que si hacía algo de que se enterara, me despediría. Así que traté.
¿Intentaste hacerme hablar con otro hombre?
Sí.
Pues creo...
She crosses to the door to make sure he isn't hearing any of this.
Él no necesita saber mierda.
Really?
¿Por qué decirle? Incluso si supiera que estás detrás de eso, sabría que estaba hablando con otro chico. Él sabe todo lo que necesita saber.
Si es que quieres, como una mujer tan amable, ¿cómo te termino con él?
Primero comenzó a aprender español porque estaba en un viaje misionero con su iglesia. Él es católico como yo. Su iglesia fue a mi ciudad para ayudar a reconstruir un antiguo edificio. Su español todavía no era tan bueno, así que me hacía preguntas, ¿cómo se llama esto y aquello? Y trató de coquetear conmigo. El palo, pero fue lindo. Dijo que nunca había estado en un lugar donde tuvieras que tener guardias armados en una farmacia o donde tenía que tener barras en las ventanas. Después de 2 meses tuvo que regresar a Colorado. Me preguntó, si vuelvo aquí, ¿vendrás conmigo? Y contesté, a los Estados Unidos, ¿por qué? Él dijo, a hacer la vida juntos. Y nunca quise dejar de Gus, pero cuando mi madre se fue, me quedé sola. Yo decidí que mejor sí. Nos casamos y durante 3 años fue perfecto. Fue realmente. El año pasado tuve un aborto espontáneo y pensé que nos recuperaríamos, pero finalmente lo encontré con otra mujer. Supongo que hacer la vida juntos dejó de tener sentido después de eso. Al principio tratamos de hacerlo funcionar o lo intenté. Lamento que probablemente no entendiste la mayor parte de esto.
No todo. Lo siento.
It's okay. I guess what I learned is after a while you have to give up on how it was. Sometimes you have to do your life yourself.
Right.
But it's worth trying. No me arrepiento de haberlo intentado.
Isabella and Violet give each other a long look.
Entonces, ¿quién era el chico de las fotos?
How do you say it? Es una historia muy larga. I still want to, quiero leer tu libro.
Sí.
Yeah. Si quieres.
I send to you sometime. We should still talk. I need practice my English.
I would like that. Yo necesito practicar mi español. Necesito ir, tengo una cosa que tengo que hacer.
She stands up and goes to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Violet starts to exit.
Ay, ¿cómo te llamas?
Violet.
Violeta?
That works. I like that.
Violeta.
They smile at each other. Violet exits the room and pulls out her phone. She crosses downstage. She is thinking about what to text RJ.
Why did you lie to me? I don't even know. Delete.
She stares at her phone, unsure of what to say.
I know. Palmer told me about the records. You can stop ignoring my calls and my texts already. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't just tell me. I mean, every time you went to get chemo, you are actually there. You know, I've been scared for my life and yours this whole time. Delete.
She stands there another moment.
I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry. I really fucked up. Look, I have your bag. Please come over so we can talk about it.
RJ enters and looks at Violet. He read the text, but doesn't reply.
I don't understand this. I'm confused. Yeah, I'm angry, but I want to help. You helped me. Send.
She exits. He watches her go, and he does too. The focus shifts back to Palmer's office. Isabella is sitting alone when Palmer re-enters.
¿Y Violet?
Ella se fue.
¿Estás hablando con un otro hombre?
Tal vez.
Supongo. Que sería hipócrita si estuviera molesto.
Sí.
¿Lo amas?
¿Te importa?
No estoy segura. Supongo que sí.
Solo 5 meses más.
Katie enters while the pair sit in silence. Katie begins her monologue. About halfway through, the lights begin to dim on the office. They look at each other. As Katie's monologue goes on, they both exit. Isabella first.
Opinion article, Watch Your Back by Katie Anderson. The past month, I've been preparing for a piece that proved to be a lot more than I bargained for. My best friend recently quit her job at a chiropractor's office. Among other reasons, she said that she didn't feel good lying to the patients. You see, there's a consensus amongst some that chiropractors are all charlatans. After all, chiropractic care is not a traditional field of medicine. The training and practices are very unique. Some chiropractors make claims that they can't back up, like that they can cure diseases they can't, or that they can perform medical miracles by simply popping your back. I went to several chiropractors, and I found that's not always the truth. Because like most things, the truth is a lot more complicated than we make it out to be. That doesn't mean there aren't liars, but some chiropractors get straight to the point. They're just here to crack your back, help with pain in that area. A healthy back is just one part of a healthy body. End of story. I went to 5 chiropractors in the last week, but only one was making claims I felt were off. I guess what I'm getting at is don't be fooled by appearances. Don't be dumb, and above all else, take care of your back.
The office fades to black. End of scene. Scene 6. Violet's apartment. Lights come up on Violet. It is 2 weeks later, around 6 a.m. She is reading a Spanish book. She stops reading and stares out for a long moment. Katie enters.
Wow. You're like up.
It's a special day.
You ready?
It's not till 8, and it's like a 20-minute drive.
I mean, you can never be too early.
Yeah, but if I'm going to be sitting and waiting, I'd rather do it here than at the hospital.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
How are you more worried about this than I am?
Well, I could ask you the same thing.
Look, I'll be okay. I mean, they said it's 2 out of 3 chance I'll be just fine.
They look at each other. Violet hugs Katie.
Hey, no pity. Only
support.
Thanks.
For what?
I don't know how I could have done all of this without you.
No, you could have.
You were right.
About what?
In general, your advice.
RJ enters downstage with his phone. He is texting Violet.
Hey, I'm in town if you want to talk.
Violet checks her phone.
Oh, shit.
What?
I just drove in. I wasn't able to sleep at my hotel in Pueblo, so I just decided to come back right away.
It's RJ.
By the way, I've been in Houston. I guess I should have mentioned that.
Wait, have you heard from him lately?
No.
What did he say?
Just that he's in town.
Do you want to see him?
Violet crosses downstage to message him back.
Hey, I'm in my apartment if you want to talk.
All right. Yeah, I'll come over.
They look at each other. She crosses back into the apartment, and RJ exits.
He's coming over.
Right now?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's a good idea? Today?
I don't want to go in there with unfinished business if I don't have to.
Okay. Do you want me here?
Like, when he comes here?
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine.
Isabella enters downstage. She is messaging Violet.
Hey, ¿cómo te sientes hoy?
Violet pulls out her phone and crosses down to talk to her.
Estoy bien. ¿Y tú?
¿Recibiste esa copia del primer capítulo que envié?
Sí, voy a leerlo luego. Gracias.
Tu operación es hoy, ¿verdad?
Sí.
I just wanted to say good luck, and I pray for you.
Thank you. I'll message you after.
Okay. No olvides practicar tu español.
No olvides tu inglés.
The pair grin. Violet walks back into the apartment. Isabella watches her and then exits. After a moment, there is a knock on the door. Katie goes to get it. Violet is still on her phone. Katie opens the door to reveal RJ. He steps in. Violet turns to him.
Hi.
You got here fast.
Yeah, I was actually in the parking lot for the last 45 minutes getting the courage to text you, but then I forgot to say I was actually outside, so I thought I would wait in the parking lot so it wouldn't seem like I had been waiting in the parking lot, but then the waiting made me more nervous, and now I'm here.
I'll be in my room.
Yeah, that's good.
Katie exits. RJ and Violet look at each other. Violet crosses to RJ. The pair sit down.
I called you over and...
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to say once you found out.
I was worried sick.
I know. I'm sorry. I went back to Houston, saw my grandparents, told them. I drove most of the way and I stopped in Puebla, like I said, but I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. After I talked to them, I knew there was one person left I had to talk to, and that was you.
You could have called me at any time.
Yeah, I know, but...
You wanted to see me in person? Why did you do it?
I still don't really know.
Was it like for money?
No.
I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. I guess I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
RJ nods.
What did your grandparents say?
Of course, they didn't understand, but I guess I don't either. I think you were the reason I wanted to stop.
Me?
Before I met you, I didn't want to. I used to have these dreams where I would die from chemo complications. And it felt like it was what was supposed to happen. Back in Houston, I told them it was my stomach, but that was going too well. And I wasn't sick enough, so I switched cities so I could fake my records. I picked the brain because I hoped. I think you get what.
Yeah. When did it start?
About 3 years ago.
Have you talked to someone?
Like a therapist?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Why?
Well, what if they find out I faked all my records and lied?
Well, it's not like you killed anyone. Look, there's people who actually understand this stuff. You need one of them.
Okay.
And you're not the only one. I've been reading about it. There's a name for it in textbooks, research, all of that.
How old were you when your dad was diagnosed?
7.
I was 8. So you remember staying up late crying.
People trying to explain it.
Seeing them lose weight.
Lose hair.
And praying.
Yeah.
But it was a fight. It felt like there was something worth keeping, like life was worth fighting for. Helping you helped me. It made me want to fight again.
Something.
Yeah. Something to make me care.
You made me care too. Are you mad at me?
Are you mad at me?
I asked you first.
Are you mad at me?
I'm not going to answer first because I don't want you to bury the hatchet just because of what I say. And you have every right to be mad at what I did.
Yeah. I am. A little, I guess.
I'm not mad at you. But if I were you, I would be mad at me. Look, what I did was fucked up. I know that. And I'm not asking you for a clean slate or even for you to forgive me because I know how hard that is. But I am sorry.
RJ nods.
Look, I don't want to give up on this.
I don't either.
You think we can make it past this?
I don't have any more secrets. Do you?
No.
She holds out her pinky like a pinky promise.
Then from now on, we keep a no secret policy. Sound good?
RJ wraps his pinky around hers to complete the promise. He puts his hand on her face.
Deal.
They kiss.
Did you ever hear back from Yang?
I have my surgery today. In about an hour.
Really?
You picked a hell of a day to come back.
The pair grin.
I don't know if it's risky. They say it might not be enough to get rid of all of it.
And if they can't?
We go from there. But it doesn't look good if they can't.
You look
What?
ready.
I have to be.
RJ picks up a stack of papers stapled together on the couch.
What's this?
A friend of mine, she's writing a book. It's the first chapter.
He looks at the first page.
El Camino a Donde Vas. What does it mean?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Camino is. I'll have to look it up.
How'd you meet an author that writes in Spanish?
It's a long story, but I'll tell you sometime.
Do you still want to go to Indonesia eventually?
After you see someone.
Me?
We said we wouldn't go until we were both healthy.
Okay.
Katie enters with 2 bags full of stuff.
So it's an hour till, and I know it's just a 20-minute drive, but
Okay, let's go.
I have some Gatorade, waters, and some snacks here in case we need it. Oh, you have your bag there with the stuff.
RJ's coming too, by the way.
Good, he can help carry these.
She hands him a bag. Katie starts to exit, then turns to look at Violet. She does the square thing with her hands. Violet grins.
How do I look?
Good as ever.
Katie smiles and exits, heading for the car. RJ starts for the door, but Violet stops him and kisses him. They look at each other. RJ exits. Violet crosses and gets her bag, picks up a book from the table and one of her Spanish books. She picks up Isabella's chapter. She looks at it for a long moment, then exits. Lights down. End of play.
Great job. If I could have all actors back on stage, please. Wonderful job, everybody. Great job. An exciting evening, and more importantly, and most importantly, a fantastic story. I want to say thank you to all of the actors for tonight. I want to say thank you to you, Straton, for giving us a great piece of work. And we're just so very grateful that we had the opportunity to share it with everyone. Thank you folks so much for watching. that concludes our original work series for this Thursday. We'll be back next week with a brand new one. So stay with us. Tell all your friends. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and check out our YouTube channel. We've got some wonderful stuff up there as well. Some great content to keep you occupied while everybody is staying safe, staying home, and wash those hands. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be seeing you again soon. Thank you.